Hey everyone, it's Brandon here again for another video. Today's video, it's time for the French Revolution of your routines. This is mainly for your success routines, your productivity routines, the routines that you do to try to improve your life. I've recently, this whole summer, even just really this whole past year, I really was implementing some routines that did help me move forward in a lot of places in life, but I also put a ton of energy and effort into them. And that's what we're going to talk about here. You want a better life. Wasting your energy for poor results is, of course, annoying. And I'm sure if you're into personal development like I am, if you want personal growth and that's something you seek and something you value in life, you're going to have times where you implement things that might take a whole lot of effort, but actually produce very little results. The French Revolution was a time where basically all the people who oppressed the society and who didn't produce good results for the society, the people rose up and just started killing people. They started getting rid of those people who were the problem. This is what I want you to do to your routine. I want you to examine what exactly your routine is doing for you right now. Some of us might not yet have routines that are even trying to be that productive, and that's okay if that's where you're at. I'm kind of curious why you're watching this video. Maybe this is your moment to kind of wake up and start to take control of your life. If that's where you're at, I really hope that you move on to that and you realize that you can create the life that you want. That's what I'm here for. That's kind of who I'm making this video for, is those of you, and I know you're here right now, who want to take control of your lives and you aren't okay with living the average life. It's a form of suffering for you. That's how it is for me. I can't sit still even if I get results that other people might be happy with. Like, oh, I own a house now. Oh, I have my own business. Oh, I have some time freedom and flexibility now. Like, I'm always a person who wants more. And, if you're kind of like that, you want better results, stick around. We're going to get into it. So, really, the issue is high leverage activities. You need to identify high leverage activities and opportunities that you can begin to move into. For me, like my old morning routine, it's like wake up at 5 a.m. every day. In and of itself, is that what's going to 10x your income? No, not alone. Is working out every single day, being physically fit, or even getting out into nature, like doing general good habits that are going to help you live a happier and more energy-filled life. Are those going to be great, good things, good additions? Yes, but they're not really needle movers. And that's what I'm in this video going to talk about, is we need to switch our focus from general productivity hacks and, general like force multipliers like exercise or, meditation or waking up at 5 a.m. or having a solid sleep, wake schedule like that. All of those things can help. Those are kind of basic beginner self-help, personal growth type activities. If you're into the stuff that I'm into, you're the type of person that I am, which I imagine you are if you're still watching now. You can figure out all of those. You can do all those little hacks, improve your routine in all of those normal ways. What I want to talk about in this video is how can we figure out what is the one thing or few things that I can do that will change my life, literally in and of themselves. So an example of a high leverage activity that I did at one point in time. I invested in real estate. I'm not making this video to tell you to invest in real estate. I had a really great opportunity where I only invested $17,000 at the start. And now, like years later, that investment has probably 5x or 10x just on its own, just because I did things a good way. It's also a low kind of risk first business, is to create a real estate investing business. If you know the fundamentals, I had the benefit of working for a property management company who basically showed me all the right ways to do it in my local market. So thanks to them, I really appreciate that opportunity. And the mentor I had who kind of took me under his wing and was like, "Hey, I see some potential in you. You should really look into getting into this investment business yourself." I had a lot of things working in my favor, but I could have worked as a laborer who's building a real estate investment for someone else, like someone who's doing the physical repairs. I'm actually doing that right now to gain more insight into my field. But the point is, you could be someone who takes a paycheck working hour by hour, and you spend that on your normal expenses to live life. And in 10 years from now, you might just have some more experience and some health problems from, abusing your body, using your body to make money. That's an example of a high leverage thing. What is a high leverage thing? First off, it's something with significant impact. For investing in real estate, that could be a significant increase in your net worth, more so than most things that you would do. Working a normal job, for most people, they'll lose the money that they make. They'll spend it on dumb stuff. Even me, even being really into personal finance and stuff, especially if I have a manic episode, I can see a lot of money go out the door. If I have a property that I've bought that's a physical asset, it's a lot harder to lose that, actually, which is a great benefit of it. But anyway, so number 2 is efficiency. Like, high leverage activity is something where you put little hours, maybe it could be a little amount of time to get a huge financial result, let's say. Or it also, beyond efficiency, I think you guys get that, there's also strategic value where you can align with your long-term objectives. Let's say for me, investing in real estate is a middle term deal. Even though it's a long-term decision, you're probably going to be in the business. Like, that's an investment vehicle that you want to be in for maybe 30 years if you decide to do it. Just be in it for a long time. That's how you'll get the most leverage out of that decision and that investment. But beyond that, I know that I don't want to be stuck in the property management or the real estate investing business as my life's purpose long-term. That's not what I'm here to do. That's not what makes my soul alive. That's not my life purpose. So I can use that as an income, generating thing, or a net worth generating thing, to maybe eventually give some form of passive income. You can say passive. Really what that just means is high leverage, income. But at the end of the day, the strategic value of that decision for me is really just to give some financial support, so later on I can get into teaching spirituality, into teaching personal growth and development like I'm doing in this video. And, also there's scalability. So real estate investing, that can be pretty scalable if you do it right. Something that's probably has even far greater scalability is what I'm doing right now, making content online. If I build a personal brand and I actually scale that up, you've seen, if you're online on YouTube right now, you've seen countless examples of other people who are no smarter than you, no hardworking than you, even though you might see their videos and they convince you that that's the truth. A lot of the time, these are just normal people having normal lives. Nothing's that special about them other than they committed to a high leverage activity, which was making content online, making content in a way that allowed them to scale up. And then with that scale, generally, the best way to do it is you can create a digital product, a digital information product, like a course, let's say. For me, if my goal is to be a spiritual teacher of some sort, a high leverage activity for me might be going on a meditation retreat or doing a ayahuasca ceremony or something, doing things to expand my mind, my consciousness, my awareness, and just level up my spiritual understanding to, the next degree. That could be a really high leverage activity that doesn't necessarily generate money right now. It might cost money. It might cost money. It might cost time. It might cost energy, but it still can be high leverage. So in the whole point here is you need to look at the things that you're spending tons of time and energy on. I did a workout 7 days a week every morning before I went to work and anything else. And then I worked on Leo Gura's life purpose course. And one of the biggest things in that course is you identify your top 10 values. My top 10 values, health, energy, vigor, is number 8 on my top 10 values. So I realized, like, I really love working out. I love fitness. I love hypertrophy. I've been, researching this and just learning about this and in this space for over a decade. It's something I really care about. It's a passion. It's something I enjoy. But it's not my number one goal in life. And I'm very well aware of that. I never was under the illusion that it was the biggest, most important thing in my life or for my future. I never saw it that way, and I know it's not that way. So I look at it now as I wake up, I eat breakfast, I, take a shit, and then I'm rolling on to whatever is the most important activity for me to move to, because when you're awake, when you're waking up in the morning and you have time before your job, that's like precious time where you can actually get something really important done for your life that can change your life. That's like a time slot in my routine now where I see it as this is where I should move the high leverage activity that moves me towards my life purpose and where I want to be, whether that's by boosting my finances, boosting a certain skill that's going to be important for my life purpose and for where I want my life to be. I need a high leverage activity there. And for a while, like, working out was a high leverage activity in a sense. Like, it was kind of a foundation that allowed me to do better in other areas of my life. It does generate energy. It does regulate emotions. It does all kinds of positive things to work out every day of the week. That doesn't mean you have to overtrain. A lot of it's about, frequency, volume, blah, blah, blah. I don't need to get into that in this video. The point is, now it's like I've moved scripting my videos and making content and building a personal brand, which is all tied into like what my life purpose is, which is teaching other people to live a better life based upon the strategies that I implemented to make my life far better. Like, my goal is to kind of find out what a wise life is for me, a life that actually makes me happier, that actually gives me more free time, that actually moves me along with my purpose and I'm more fulfilled. Like, if I figure out that for myself, I know exactly what I can teach to people like me who want a better life too. So that's kind of my purpose for being here, and that's the purpose that I'm signing up for and the purpose that I am connecting to. So it only makes sense to me to put in my most precious time in the morning before I get into the chaos of a workday and I'm involved with the public and I'm involved with coworkers and their emotions and bosses and their emotions or business partners and what they want to do. Before all that stuff happens, I have that precious time in the beginning of the morning to really hammer in on the thing that I deem is going to move me forward the most. Now, let's say I have this as my high leverage activity that I choose to focus on first thing in the morning after I do my normal, eating food, like bodily functions kind of stuff, the basics. Once I get that out of the way, I'm going to focus on this high leverage activity. And if this doesn't produce results, let's say I work really hard at it for 3 months, 6 months, hell, it could even be a year. Eventually, I'm going to have to pivot. I'm going to have to move to the next thing. And I'm going to have to identify a high leverage activity to probably move in its place or to at least, move some of my focus towards something else. But at the end of the day, this video is really about we need to assess our routines if we want to level up in life. If you are like me and you want to have the best life possible, listen up, listen to me. This advice isn't only coming from me. It's coming from really successful people and, just common sense too. Like, you can't fucking work at McDonald's making X amount of dollars an hour and really say to yourself, like, that's what's taking your vision. That's what is making your life vision come true. We all know that's bullshit. So it's not a normal 9 to 5 probably that's going to be our high leverage activity. It's also not going to be something that isn't scalable. Like, oh, I do a consulting business, but, my market around me where I live for this consulting activity only pays $1,000 a client. And it's the type of business where you can only have like 4 clients at a time. Like if a market only supported that and you only had a certain amount of energy to make with that, like your income could, in a certain way, if that was your only route, your only method, you could be, capped at like $4,000 a month, and that doesn't allow you eventually to gain much time freedom, which is another thing. Gaining time in your routine, gaining time in your life to have quality time to move and focus on high leverage activities, that's very important too. Sometimes you don't need to make more money, you just need to find out how to allot your time better to the things that will move the needle. But anyway, so this is kind of that one part of it. Now we have hard work and smart work. You hear these terms a lot. If you're into personal growth, personal development, business growth, you hear, oh, you do have to work hard, but it's not just hard work, you have to work smart. Or, you hear about how being intelligent with how you work, that's almost how this video kind of might seem, is like I'm telling you, you need to be smart about where you focus your efforts and focusing your efforts on actually fine-tuning your routine to give you the best results. That is a higher leverage activity than just working really hard at your stupid routine where you focus on waking up early or working out first in the morning and getting your morning sunlight and all the shit to do stretching or yoga or meditation. You can do all these activities which seem to be helping, but they're not moving the needle, right? So focusing on how can I get to something that moves the needle, that is in a way working smarter, but it's even more than this. Like, hard work and smart work are dead when it comes to getting to the life you want. An example of this could be, there can be a high IQ physicist, and he can be one of the smartest cookies in the whole fucking bunch, right, of human beings. But when it comes down to it, like sort of raw intelligence or the intelligence that's going to show up on an IQ test, that doesn't really save you for much in life. There are plenty of ultra intelligent people who are stuck as fucking wage slaves, hating their lives, on the brink of suicide. There are also people working really fucking hard in coal mines or fucking salt mines, even. Like, there are people who work super hard and they get nothing in life and they hate their lives. There are people who are super smart and do really intellectually heavy workloads, right? And they don't get what they want out of life. And then there are people who just so happen to focus on the right high leverage thing at the right time. And they might just luck into it. Like, it could be some kid in high school right now just loved social media. They're addicted to social media. They found the right video that taught them how to build a personal brand, and they followed the steps, and then they got their personal brand to have a certain following, and then they created a digital product, and it didn't even introduce anything that unique or valuable to the world, but just because they had a certain amount of eyeballs on their product and they sold it, like they created a product and they had a certain attention to it, people are going to buy, even if your product sucks, like compared to what someone else could make. Like, maybe you could make a far greater product than what that kid in high school made, but you don't have the eyeballs because you didn't do the high leverage activities, maybe just because you weren't lucky to see the right content to teach you how to do it. But now I'm telling you, like, that is one of the great high leverage opportunities we have right now in the world. Although it's very competitive in the sense that a lot of people are competing for the attention of viewers like you. And somehow you're still on my video, so I must be doing something right in that sense, right? People are competing for your attention, for my attention, for everybody in the world's attention. Why? Because we have fucking money. Because we work, we went to school for however many years and we got the job, and we trade our time for this value in this marker, this symbol of value called money. And then we want to pass that around. That's how the world economy works, is we trade the markers for value. We trade different currencies. And the thing is, there's someone out there who is working not nearly as hard as you've worked in the past month, the past year, who's not as smart as you, and they're making 10 times, 100 times the income that you are. That should piss you off. That pisses me off a little bit. I'm a little pissed off by that. So let's start to move into a higher leverage season of our lives. How do we do that? We fucking chop off the oppressive wake up at 5 a.m. for no gains habits. Wake up at or just go to the gym for 3 hours and fucking sweat and do everything and push weights or run cardio and like fucking increase your VO2 max by doing cardio like a lunatic. Like that doesn't move your life forward unless you're a marathon runner or something. Like that's not a high leverage activity for you unless your life goals actually and values actually line up with increasing that thing. So identify first, what do you want out of life? What will actually give you a fulfilling life? Figure that out. Leo Gura's life purpose course on actualize.org is a great way for doing that, or getting a life coach. I recently, I got a life coach and he's pretty good. If you guys really need a life coach and you aren't sure where to go, ask me. I guess I can see if he wants more clients. But basically, there are whole lots of opportunities for you. And in conclusion, you've got to act now. You have to examine your routines and actually do a little bit of the intellectual work to just think about, okay, this is my morning routine. Is eating eggs what's going to take me to millions? No, it's not. But do I need to eat eggs in the morning to feel good and healthy? Is that a food item that I've actually found I perform well eating? Like for me, I eat 2 eggs, 2 strips of bacon, and 1 cup of coffee. That's my breakfast. I perform well on it. I don't have stomach problems or issues like I used to on that diet. Like I've just identified that's not a huge giant force multiplier or some high leverage thing, but it is just a necessity. So like you're going to have necessities, things you need to do. And I'm not saying not to work out or not to wake up at 5 a.m. I'd be a hypocrite if I told you those things, because those things have helped me a lot. But beyond that, we've got to just look at what would actually move the needle for us. That's all it comes down to. What would actually move the needle and actually change your life? So just identify an activity that you could perform that would grow a skill that would allow you to either gain the income or gain the time freedom or move towards your life purpose. Like, there you go. Those are your things. And I do suggest getting in a routine where you have some time before the chaos of the day begins. It's probably better, for me, I found it is better to have time in the morning rather than time after work. You can do it. I used to, when I was in a fitness heavy phase, I used to work out for like 3.5 hours at the gym after I did a whole work day, and it was insane. But I did fine workouts. Like some people will say you can't do good work or have a good workout after your day, and I don't believe that's true. But I do believe there's something to be said about the calm that you find in the morning before the shit gets going for the day. So I would say if you have the option to try this, get some morning time where it's calm, where even like your family members, you've got a bit of space from them, like it's just you doing some deep work. And I would try slotting in the high leverage activity that you find into that time slot. And I'm very certain it's just a matter of time of you trying out high leverage activities. First off, being patient enough to give them time to work. You're not going to build, your future and change your entire life in one day most of the time. It's going to take time. It might be months. It might be years. But just be intelligent in how you identify which high leverage activities to try, and then give them their time. Put them in a time slot, like I mentioned, where you have a good chance to do some quality work with them. Develop whatever skill it is. Get whatever experience you need or learning you need to do that thing well, and put in the hours. And it is only a matter of time that we do something like that, a true high leverage, thing. It's only a matter of time until our lives take off in a way that we're not even prepared for how fucking good it can be. I've already seen my life transform in ways I never could have predicted how good it would get. And I know I'm only at the beginning. And I know if any of you think that I'm somehow ahead of you, that you have way more potential within you, honestly, than where I'm at. I know where I'm at is only the very, very early beginning. I'm only 29 years old. You got to realize if you guys are the same age as me or younger than me or even 10 years older than me, we're still at the beginning of life. We're still at the beginning of our mastery curves, you could say. And there's so much that we can amplify and grow in our lives. So, if you're interested in a journey of self development, of personal growth, stick around, subscribe, seriously, because that's a lot of what my channel is about. Really, in some way or another, my whole entire channel is focused on personal growth, whether that be physical health, finance, business, mental health, spiritual health. It's all about improving yourself in some way or another, and it's just me telling you things that I've implemented that have made my life better, and trying to help you guys make your lives better too. So subscribe if you're interested in that. Give the video a like if you'd like to help support me for free. And comment below, and I'd love to have feedback on what you liked about this video or even things that you found annoying. Someone commented recently, hey man, your audio's been like quiet. It's been low for like the past 2 or 3 videos in a row. And I really appreciated that feedback. I think that person's kind of a regular viewer, so thanks for that. If you guys have any other tips, like I'd really love to build a community, and in the future I might look to building a community around us. I've met a lot of friends off this channel all over the world who are interested in similar things, so stay tuned for that. But I love you guys. I love the people out there who are actually working to make their lives better, because that's how we make the world better. And that's a great service we can do to God, really, and others, is improve ourselves to then improve the world. And in our own selfish ways, we'll help out that person who's suffering across the globe, just by making ourselves better, growing ourselves. So it's a little bit of a tearjerker for me thinking about it that way, but that's seriously what we're doing here. So if you want to be part of that, subscribe. Even I've got an Instagram. I believe it's linked in my YouTube info, my channel info. It should be like at Brandon Rowe. If you just search my name, my YouTube name, you'll probably find it. So you can send me DMs there, ask me personal questions there, whatever. We can set up a time to have a call if you want. So until next time, love you guys. I'll see you again soon.